Hello, everyone. Welcome to Locqube Chats, where we explore smarter ways to navigate real estate, from selling strategies to how tech is reshaping the entire existence of real estate. Today, we're diving into the topic that every homeowner asks at some point. How do I increase the value of my home before I sell it without overspending or overdoing it? And joining me today is someone that has helped thousands of people sell their home. Locqube CEO Manny Pantiga. It's great to have you here. Thank you, Manny.
Thank you, Lisian. Thank you for making the time and the space.
So to start with the topic and why this topic matters now more than ever, we are seeing a market shift. So sellers want to control, but need some new strategies, and in order to unlock the real value of their home, they might need assistance from technology, from agents, from new prop tech. So happy to have you here since Locqube works in that space, in the prop tech and real estate, especially real estate technology. So what could you say us about that, especially as someone working in the industry and in this new field? How do we can we increase the value of our home before we sell it without overspending and overdoing it?
Yeah, that's definitely, those are big questions, and it's one of the most common questions, believe it or not. I think it would make sense that it's one of the most common questions that we get from homeowners. How do I increase the value of my home, right? And there, I want to talk to two sets of homeowners. Number one, I want to speak to homeowners that are not ready to sell yet. Okay, and the first thing I want to say is it will pay tremendous dividends if you invest time and resources into the upkeeping of your home. In other words, as you think about the possibility of selling your house, as you think about the possibility of just owning, actually, even before you get to that point, make sure that you invest with the upkeep of your home. From the moment that you buy your property, it would pay tremendous dividends if you start thinking about it as like, hey, at some point I'm going to be selling this home, so every year let me tackle a project, not let things run all the way down to the end. I know many homeowners who sacrificed at some point early in the homeownership journey, who invested into a new heating system, invested into a new HVAC, and at the moment of listing, it paid tremendous dividends. So that sacrifice from a few years before, it is a great selling point at the listing point. So if you're not thinking about selling today, great. Look at what are some of the elements that you could start improving on your home. There are some stats that say about 1% of the value of your home every year should go into the upkeep of the property. Same thing with a car. You get new tires, you get new windshield wipers. Same thing with the home. The structural elements, those start long before you sell. And then the second thing is, hey, well, I'm Manny, thank you, but you're about 9 years late. What do we do today? And I think that's what we're going to be diving into. Is there a way to maximize without overspending? And the answer is absolutely. We could definitely show you a way to help you prep yourself the best to sell and get the most out of the property.
Let's start first with the impressions of the outside or the landscape or the curb appeal. The moment the buyer pulls out to their home and they see their first photos online, their videos online, they already are forming an opinion. So, what are some smart, affordable ways to boost this curb appeal and to help make the difference in the home sale, to sell faster maybe, or to sell for a higher price?
Great question. And I want to invite you, the homeowner listening to me right now, that you want to stand in front of your home, not as the homeowner. You walk that pathway day in and day out several times a day, but you want to put the hat of a potential buyer looking at the home, right? And it is an emotional process. It's also an investment. They want to see that structurally it looks good. They want to see. So from the outside, first impressions do matter. We know this, that it takes seconds to make a good first impression, and then who knows how long to change it. And the same thing happens with your home. When a buyer first stands and and looks at your home, what are they seeing? Is the grass neatly cut? Do you have flowers? Have you planted mulch? There are simple ways and one of the things that I want to talk about today is what are some simple things that you could do to increase the value of your home, right? Mowing the lawn, power washing the house, the facade, painting the front door a nice neutral color so that it looks fresh, cleaning the windows, changing the window treatments from the outside so this fire comes in and it at least is not taking away from the outlook of the home. If you're like me, I sometimes let the keeping with the yard, go for a few weeks. My wife gets really mad at me, but when it comes to selling the home, we got to think like a buyer, not so much like the owner.
And everyone hears that the kitchen and the bathroom are where the money is, but not everyone has the budget for a full remodel. What can they prioritize? How do you recommend that, and what's the approach there?
The number one and the overarching theme throughout our whole conversation is going to be declutter and clean. Declutter and clean, right? And not clean that, right, anyone in particular is dirty. That's not the angle. Is clean for guests, right? There's a different way that I clean my home for ourselves or when guests are coming. Declutter and clean so that it is less about the things in the home and more about the home. The same goes to the bathroom. For example, we have 17 towels, right? Or different towels in our bathroom, and we have different, the toothbrush and things like that we use. It's not that it's dirty. It's good to take these things off even before we get into full-blown renovation projects. We see that simple renovation projects and the bathroom and the kitchen could be very complex because it is, as you stated in your question, we can easily overspend and have negative return on investment on overdoing a bathroom or overdoing a kitchen. So changing the curtains, putting brand new fresh towels, decluttering all of the personal items, painting, reglazing the bathtub, regrouting the tiles. These are simple investments that you can do that are not going to break the budget and are going to completely refresh the look and feel of your bathroom. Changing the light fixtures, that's another element throughout. Now, the same thing for the kitchen. It will do almost as much. I know what I'm going to say is going to sound controversial, okay? It will do almost as much to declutter a countertop as it is installing a brand new countertop, a brand new high-price Onyx countertop in the mind of a buyer, because the buyer is not coming in thinking, hey, is this a high-quality countertop? The buyer walks into your kitchen thinking, do I picture myself cooking breakfast here for my wife and my kids? Can I picture myself doing a holiday meal for my in-laws? Hey, some people have good relationship with their in-laws. I'm one of them. Can I picture myself preparing, tea in the evening so that, and that's the idea of the kitchen. So you want to set the environment to allow for that. Now, I don't want to take away from a beautifully renovated kitchen with, high-end stainless steel, bespoke appliances. That's definitely a plus. But even before we get to that point, you wanna start by creating an environment where a buyer can picture themselves in the home. Again, light fixtures, cleaning, decluttering. Start the cleaning process even within the cabinets, because sometimes people open up cabinets or they open up drawers just to see the space. So creating that environment will go a long.
What about the living rooms and common areas? Because these are the spaces where the family spend most of their time.
This is interesting because now we're shifting. The idea is investing, right, and renovating a property and then staging. I know they sound like the same thing, but they're not, right? Investing is about the structure, investing in the home, and renovating is about the kitchens and the bathrooms and maybe painting. Staging is about accessorizing the home, right? You can paint a room and that will drive a particular effect on the mind of the buyer. But you could set a couch with a nice cover, with some nice throw pillows. I'm not really a super decorator, but that will drive, giving it that homey feel. It will drive even more. Homes that are staged, in this case, when it comes to the living room and the dining area, homes that are staged sell anywhere between 3 to 30 times faster, okay, than homes that are not staged. So it is all about creating. It is all about creating that inviting space. I want to say something to homeowners, and the moment that you make the choice, put your property on the market, yes, your home, where you live, where you eat, where you shower, the moment that you decide that property stopped being yours. And you should start thinking about the home as an asset, and you should start thinking about what are the things that you got to do to maximize the value. So in your living room, if you have a picture of a family member, if you have a picture of you and your family, you're better off removing all personal, to the extent that you can, personal elements, and putting things that are more neutral, that are going to be more inviting. Think about this. There's this beautiful picture in our living room about my wedding. That is going to take a lot of attention from a buyer looking at that picture and not focusing on the rest of the home. So what we want is to remove anything that is going to distract that buyer from that home, possibly creating an emotional connection. So to go back to living spaces, the dining area, the kitchen, the family room, you want to create an inviting space, hang a guitar, create that idea, that showroom feel, so that buyers could start feeling themselves. So throw pillows, curtains, decluttering, those are some of the elements that we highlight.
It's interesting when you put it that way, because most of the adjustments that you can do before listing are especially not very expensive. So there is a lot of valuable information here for the audience. Let's talk about the bonus spaces, attics, basements, or even the garage. Are those worth investing before listing?
Yeah, no, absolutely, bonus spaces. But I want to invite everyone to think about a bonus space, even beyond. And I want to talk about the attic. I'm going to talk about the basement. I'm going to talk about the garage. I'm going to talk about sheds as bonus spaces, right? That are pleasant surprise. But what if you thought about bonus spaces even within, let's say, a bedroom? Let's think about the master bedroom, and let's think about creating a bonus corner in the master bedroom. Maybe you have a nice accent chair with a small coffee table next to it, a nice throw pillow, and a nice, a nice book, right? That invites, and again, talk about it, creating that emotional space and that emotional connection. Now the buyer is no longer just going to say, hey, this master bedroom has a good size, my TV could go there. But now they start thinking lifestyle. How? Hey, I could see myself on a cool fall day drinking pumpkin spice latte, right? And reading a good novel, or reading a good book, or watching some videos with my kids. That generally creating again, that driving that emotional connection. A home is not just an investment. It's where you live. It's where your kids are going to grow up. It's where you have dinners. It's where you cry. It's where you argue. So again, bonus spaces go beyond what we expect as an additional family room. Now let's talk about that. Basements are a huge hit with buyers because it offers so much. Imagine creating an art studio, creating a home gym, an office space where you could work from in privacy, a music recording studio where you could record beats, and allowing for that space to be decluttered, to be clean, to be properly lit. Listen, I got to tell you, one of the most underrated investments is brand new light fixtures around the home. It's a little bit tedious because you got to go light by light, but to have a home that is properly lit goes a long way. So the same thing with these bonus spaces, right? And then you could create the idea with workout mats, with maybe a couple of dumbbells and things like that. The same thing with, especially in the Northeast, in New York City, where space and storage is, I can tell you enough, about that to have storage space. Maybe you have bins, right? If you're gonna keep some things, put them in bins so the buyer can say, hey, this is where I could keep my Christmas decoration and my Thanksgiving decoration. Or so those are some of the ways that we want to think about additional spaces.
Let's talk now about sustainability, which is becoming a big factor in buying decisions these days. Do energy efficiency or green upgrades still offer strong returns? For example, solar panels or heat pumps. Studies say that if you invest in this, in a couple of years, your home price will increase, and also you might get some savings in energy. Is that really related to an ROI element, or is more like a niche interest?
Lisian, smart homes are no longer a niche situation. It is becoming more and more and more an expectation. Again, if we're going to start simple and smart, which we like it here at Locqube to be simple and to be smart and to push the needle as much as we can. Smart thermostats, LED lighting, the shower heads, those little things push the narrative, the smart narrative, a long way. If you want to go something more mid-tier, something that would require a little bit more of an investment, the windows, the windows, the appliances, LED smart lighting, those also push the element. And if you want to go into a bigger investment, we're talking about solar panels. A word of caution: be smart. Maybe we should do an episode about solar panels. Be smart about structuring the finances about this, because it could become cumbersome at the time of closing. I won't invest any more time on that, but be smart about solar panels.
Let's say a seller has a budget of $5,000, not huge, but enough to make some moves. How should they think about allocating that?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. That's a good question. Another thing that I didn't mention, especially in some of the stock of the properties that we sell here that we don't talk a lot about, is flooring. For example, if you have wood floors, to rebuff the floors, it's not a massive investment. Lights, nice neutral paint tones, some throw pillows that you get from TJ Maxx or one of those home decor stores, landscaping, right? Those are small investments. One of the things that we always ask homeowners, for example, especially for picture day, set the table as if you were going to have guests. A small, simple thing that helps. So if you want to be on that sub $5,000 budget, it will drive tremendous ROI, tremendous return if you focus on those small first impressions and entryway, landscaping, lighting, hardware, countertops, maybe updating some of the appliances, deep cleaning, going in there and hiring a company to go deep clean, and those are very impactful.
If someone thinking about selling, let's suppose in the next 6 months, what should they start doing right now, even before talking to an agent? And considering everything that we explained or you explained prior to the ending of this conversation, but also at what Locqube helps through this process, and why they should consider the Locqube alternative.
That's a good question. And if you are thinking about selling, the number one thing that we want to encourage and empower you to do is to get a home valuation. Actually, we just released this. We're very excited. We're very excited about this. We just released an AI-powered home valuation explainer, which you will have AI explain to you as if you were an agent at 3 a.m. if you want to, exactly what is happening with the value of your home, how many properties that are similar to yours are active with example, and what does it mean for your home value. So number one is get a strong idea of what the market bears. But that's not specific, right? If you want to start even getting into more details, have one of our Locqube agents come and visit with you and tell you some of the things, let's say you're 6 months out, that you could start thinking about when it comes to preparing your home for sale. Some of them, and we do this with some homeowners, is get a pre-listing homeowner's inspection. So the way that a buyer would hire an inspector or an engineer to go and look through the home, hey, why don't we get ahead of any issues that could come up, invest the $500 and have an inspector give us a report, so that at least if it's something that we're not prepared to repair, at least we know and we could be better suited. I find it, Lisian, that buyers get more scared about surprises than when you, from the beginning, you say, hey, for example, there's an open permit on this home. It will have a minimal effect on the property rather than them finding out afterwards. So to preempt these issues, we encourage sellers to also potentially get an inspection so they could get ahead. And lastly, we, in addition to supporting the agents with our supporting the sellers with our experienced agents, we have our platform and our unbeatable price of 1.99% listing commission, which is designed to make sure that investment of getting your home ready, it returns back to you, and you are able to enjoy, maximizing on the sale of your home.
All right, everyone, don't wait until the last minute. Even these small changes take time to plan. So walk your home like a buyer would, take notes, and start decluttering, clean everything, and because it gives you a head start. And most importantly, start with a home value estimate from Locqube.com. It will give you an immense understanding on where to start and what you need to do next. Thank you, Manny, and see you on the next episode.
Yes, thank you, Lisian.